Great question, and there's a long answer and there's a short answer, so I'll try and keep it short. The vision was originally that we could do better by clients than the large Wall Street firms were doing. The model for taking care of clients from large brokerage firms hadn't changed in probably over half a century. And in the early 90s, I thought there was a better way to do it. And simply put, focusing more on financial planning and giving advice as opposed to just selling products. Working for a fee that the client understood that was transparent instead of a commission product, which is often difficult to understand what you're paying. And then focusing on great customer service. In any business, you can tell when they're focused on customer service. It's a great experience. And in the retail investment industry, the customer service varied from advisor to advisor. Some folks were good at what they were doing, but many others were very transactional and were taking orders and trying to sell products. So there was a lot of room for improvement, and that might have been somewhat revolutionary in the early 90s, but thankfully today, with firms like Apella and Marrella Wealth, this is the model that we're all pursuing, and that works best for our clients. Well, first and foremost, if we are successful, and we've done this over 20 times in the last 5 years or so, if we are successful at what we do, we are giving your clients more of your time. You're going to get more Marrellas post-transaction than you did before, because we're going to be able to take work off their desks that, quite frankly, is time-consuming, that they might not even enjoy doing, because really the enjoyment in this industry is interfacing with clients, helping them solve their problems, create solutions for them. That's the most rewarding part of this industry by far. But what clients don't often see is the behind-the-scenes work that has to be done in order to run a successful business. So if we can take that work off the desk of the Marrellas, that gives them more time to spend with clients and focus on solving their client problems.
Yeah. I think the other thing we bring to the table is increased service offering that they can draw on for you when you need it. So a couple of years ago, we purchased a CPA practice to be able to deliver truly comprehensive tax planning and tax preparation work to your clients. We're always building out new services like estate planning, intergenerational planning, financial therapy, all these different things that can deliver a more comprehensive service set to you and ultimately make the clients' lives better day to day.
Marrella is what we call at Apella like-minded advisors. So we're not looking to partner with firms that are doing things differently than we are and convince them that our way is the better way. We're looking for firms that already walk and talk like we do, think like we do, treat their clients like we do. That makes it much easier for us to partner. And we probably learn as much from the firms that we partner with as they might learn from us. We'll bring some scale, we'll bring some services to help them do their jobs better, but we'll learn from them on what's been working well for them. And that's how we've built Apella over the last 7 or 8 years now, and it's been a very successful model for us.
Well, I think the first goal of what we're trying to build is a team and a community that allows a firm like Marrella to just do what they're doing better, more efficiently, with more resources and with a team. You know, we're not looking for people who need to be taught how to serve clients. We're looking for people who are already serving clients to the highest degree and giving them an increased set of tools, a deeper bench to draw on, a community of people who have maybe different experiences and different expertises that they can then bring into their existing client relationships to just provide a deeper knowledge base and a broader team, but delivering the same service to the clients every day. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it bears repeating. You know, Apella is a national firm with several $1 billion under management, which all sounds large, but quite frankly, Apella could be considered a boutique firm as well. You know, we're a little over 100 employees across the country in 17 or 18 offices. We're growing rapidly, but we nevertheless have that boutique feel to this day. We all know each other. We all see each other often throughout the year. So it's not like you're working with a giant bank. And thus, Marrella will definitely continue to have that family feel. That's part of the allure of why we do what we do at Apella. So I don't think the clients actually will see visually any difference. As Jim alluded to earlier, there will be some new technology available to the Marrellas that they'll employ that the clients may notice. And they may notice that some subtle changes in the planning process and the investment process. It'll all be very familiar. It's just a matter of us trying to streamline it and make it more efficient so that the whole process of being a Marrella client becomes more efficient and more streamlined for the client experience. But the feel, that I like that word boutique because it really informs a hands-on, very concierge experience. That's not going to change because Apella has partnered with Marrella. We hope the changes will be subtle, but they'll be value added.
Yeah. Yeah, to us, boutique is more a question of culture than it is a number of employees or an actual size. And it starts with the vision that Pat set out from the very beginning of Apella, which was if you're putting the client first, I think you really have no choice but to maintain that boutique feel, because the second you move into sort of a more of a cookie cutter or an approach that's focused on scale and efficiency for its own sake, you lose the ability to take care of families in the way that they deserve and need. I think what makes us unique really starts with what Pat just said, which is we're only looking to partner with people who see the world the way that we do. We're really trying to build a community of like-minded advisors who, first and foremost, have a commitment to client service that matches our own, which puts it paramount in everything that we do. And I think when you build from a place of only wanting to work with people who are committed to that highest level of service, you get a 1 + 1 = 3 situation where we're all able to make each other better day in and day out.
First and foremost, we have personnel in the firm who are subject matter experts that would be difficult to obtain for a firm that is the size of Marrella's currently. They'd have to do a great deal of hiring to do that, which also makes them take their eye off the ball on servicing clients. So it's always a conundrum when a company is growing as to, are you going to spend as much time with clients as you can while simultaneously bringing more people onto the firm with different subject matter expertise? You have to spend time with them as well. So you have to make tough choices when you're growing a business, growing a company. I don't talk to clients directly anymore. I'm a financial advisor at heart. I was for a long, long time. And that's something I had to give up as the company grew. So what we'll bring in terms of scale to the Marrellas is a great number of people who are experts in their subject matter, technology that perhaps a firm of this size couldn't afford to implement, but they would like to use. And we can make, by virtue of bringing in those additional personnel and bringing in additional technology, we can make the Marrellas more effective at what they're already delivering to clients.
That's right. I think with that, we have teams of people who are always looking for the best and newest innovations in the different aspects of our business, be it investment management, financial planning, the operational support side. And they're spending all their time looking for what's going to be the newest and best ways to serve you. And we always like to say we like to be leading edge, not bleeding edge. We never need to be the first people to adopt something, but we always want to make sure we're abreast of the best things that are happening in the industry. So when it is appropriate to deliver that service to you, we're prepared and can do it with full confidence in the diligence we've done. Yeah, I would say first and foremost, it comes down to planning and preparation. Because we're so focused on only working with people who, are a great fit for us and are going to be sort of mutually additive to one another, we move at a different cadence than, certain other firms who might just be focused on adding as many teams as possible. So, Pat mentioned earlier that we've been through this now. This will be the 21st time we've done it, and we've had more or less the same team in place for each and every one of these partnerships. And so the result of that is we've learned a tremendous amount throughout the process. We create painstaking checklists and diligence trackers and things that make sure, first and foremost, you, the client, are receiving a a very smooth and efficient transition, but also showing you the services and the things that we're able to bring to the Marrellas from day one is of the utmost importance.
We have a team that is dedicated to transitions, so that's what they do. And I think that to go back to an earlier question about culture and how do you keep that at a firm, the behind the scenes people, the operations folks, the technology folks at Apella, they're focused on delivering a tremendous experience to the client as well. It's not just the advisor. You will get the opportunity at times to talk to those people. So Sam or Paul may bring them into a phone call or a meeting for specific answers to specific questions you might have. And you'll see that they're dedicated to making this transition as smooth as possible. That's their number one priority.
Yeah. You know, the other thing I would add to that question is the fact that first and foremost, the team that you're working with now is the team you're going to continue to be working with thereafter. So nobody from the Marrella team is going anywhere. Our goal is just to bring more to them so that, as Pat said earlier, they just have more time to spend with you and more time to serve you at increasing rates.
Great question, thank you. Because I say thank you because I think that too many people in general, when they think about this industry, when they think about a financial advisor of any type, they go right to investments. And quite frankly, investments are a small part of the client relationship, the client experience. It's an important part, but it's a small part. What we want clients to know is that they're not alone when making any financial decision. They should come to the Marrellas for any consequential financial decision in their life. And so it's advice on what you should do about your mortgage. It's advice on what family trip you can make this year. It's advice on what happens after a major event in your life, the death of a loved one, a marriage that's ending, retirement. All these things are very important markers in someone's life, and they all have financial consequences and implications. And so I think that if we're doing our job here at Apella and Marrella, that the phone call should be to the Marrellas to find out, what do I need to be thinking about and doing? It shouldn't just be about what the market do today. That has a small impact on the rest of your life. What has a major impact is the advice you get when these milestones in your life occur. So we provide advice for life, and we feel that the impact of that advice is far more greater than just what mutual fund you might own.
Yeah, so, you know, I think starting from the highest level, the way that we see Apella isn't just the singular legacy of, you know, our founder or, you know, the legacy of the team that, you know, has been at Apella proper from the start, but really it's the collective legacy of the people who have joined us, right? The reason we've all come together is because we believe that the best way to preserve the legacy of what each individual team has built is by building one community that empowers one another. And that's something that, you know, we very much saw here. One of the things that was most exciting to us about partnering with the Marrellas was the fact that there is this legacy that shows, you know, literal generations of high quality commitment to client service, both up to, you know, Sam and Paul, but also to the next generation who are going to carry that on in the future. And so, you know, for us, that isn't something that we see as, you know, an item to accommodate or to deal with, but to us, that's one of the biggest attractions, is our ability to invest in that generation and help them carry forward, not just you know, for this generation that's here now, but we truly spend our time thinking about, you know, maybe the generation that is only 40 days old. That's sort of the time horizon that we think on. It's not the next 2 to 3 years, it's the next 2 to 3 decades.
I think a byproduct of how we've grown, which is looking for like-minded advisors, as opposed to going out and finding advisors and trying to sell them on our view of the world. That means the culture will change over time. When we go look for like-minded advisors, like the Marrellas, the byproduct of that is when they join us, they meet other advisors in the firm that look like them, walk and talk like them, practice like them, deliver a similar client experience already. So no one's convincing anybody that their way is the best way. They come into a firm that already looks the way they do, that invests the way they do, plans the way they do, treats clients the way they do. And that means the culture continues beyond the founders of each respective firm that joins us.
Yeah. You know, and with that, it's not just something that exists within the way we all work together. You know, it's important to us that the teams who join us join as partners. So we're all sitting on the same side of the table, rowing in the same direction and building together as a team and a true partnership. And that's not just for sort of the current generation, but for future generations as well, because we think that's the true way that you build an enduring legacy for the long term.
And the advisors that do join us have an ownership stake in the firm.
That's right.
So they are fully vested going forward in the success of the firm. And I think that's vitally important, that they have skin in the game. I'm going to have very strong opinions on this type of thing. And I think most of your clients, if not all of them, will agree with this sentiment. They didn't hire Raymond James. They didn't hire Fidelity. They're not hiring Schwab. They're not hiring any company out there. They're hiring the Marrellas because that's where their trust is. These are the people I'm putting my trust in. These are the people who are doing the job for me. Yes, it's a pain. It's a pain for us as well when client accounts move from one institution to another. That's just a necessary evil in our industry. There has to be a custodian holding the money. There has to be a firm trading the money, protecting the money. But really what the clients want to know is my investment experience with the Marrellas going to change? And it's not going to change. We think it's going to get better at the margins because they already do a great job. But we're going to improve that. All those other things which can be a pain, and we understand that, they're a pain for us too. We're going to try and make it as seamless and as easy as possible. We do it because we've worked with all these firms ourselves in the past, and you learn after being in business for as long as we have, for decades, that you find the right partners, and even then, it may not be the right partner forever. We may have to make changes in the future when a better opportunity, a better technology comes along and makes itself available. But rest assured that we're focused on the client experience. And so we don't want to change what you have with the Marrellas. Anything else that we do want to change is going to, in the end, make your experience better.
Yeah. I would say that, you know, these evolutions that the Marrellas have gone through with you are actually proof that they're constantly trying to evaluate the best way to serve you as they move forward. You know, so if I were in your shoes, I would think to myself, you know, over the years, have the Marrellas consistently invested in and improved the way that I've been served, you know, day in and day out? And, you know, to us, from what we've seen in talking to them and working with them, the answer is a resounding yes. And I think this is just another example of them, you know, not doing what's easy for them or convenient or sort of the path of least resistance. In fact, I would say it's, you know, it's the opposite. Yeah. They're making the hard choice to, you know, take a leap and do something that they know is in your best interest, regardless of the fact that, you know, it's going to mean more work for them in the near term, but with, you know, more fruitful results for everyone in the long term.
That in and of itself is a tough one because you asked us a lot of questions. And the audience should know we didn't see the questions ahead of time. They should definitely know that. And that's fair. I think that's what Paul wanted to achieve, and I think he did that in spades. What questions didn't you ask? Well, what is our end goal in terms of size and growth? We do get asked that question a lot, and my answer, and there's a lot of answers from a lot of different firms to that question, all fair. Our answer to that question is we don't have a stated goal of how large we want to be. The growth is a byproduct of doing a great job. So this firm, Apella, has grown dramatically in the last 5 years or so, and that's wonderful. But it's just a byproduct of us partnering with great firms. I'll give you one metric in our industry to get a little wonky. There's a metric called organic growth or net new assets. And really all that means is how did you grow by attracting new clients as opposed to the market going up? That helps us grow. Partnering with other firms, that helps us grow. And they're all fine. But probably the most important indicator, did you bring in new clients, people that you could help? Our industry grows at 1% to 3% per year as measured by net new assets. Apella has grown by 10% a year. And that's not because we're geniuses at the home office, other than we partner with great advisors. So The question of how big do you want to be, we don't have an answer for that. We'll get to be as large, and we are a large RIA in America right now, but we'll get to be as large as we can with the advisors that we bring on board, who grow at their own pace so that they can still manage the client experience effectively. We bring on new advisors to help manage that pace. We bring in young advisors who then are mentored by the Paul and Sams of the world, and who take over clients at an appropriate pace as they become more experienced. So for me, the top question is, what are your goals in terms of growth? And that's the best answer we have. So you want to take a crack at it?
Yeah. No, I think the question that I would add related to that one would be, what's the end state for Apella? Is Apella going to, look to exit or become a part of another firm, or, is there an end state in mind for the firm that would impact, you as the clients? And I would say that, what makes, I think, all of us who are a part of Apella and who have been a part of Apella for a long time now so excited is that we're not solving for an end state, we're solving for the client. The way that Pat has, set up the firm and run the firm for the last number of years is focused on building these multi-generations so that the firm can persist for decades to come. And that starts with, the leadership team. It extends through the Marrellas, not just that first generation, but the second and maybe third and fourth generations. And so because we're able to think for the long term, we don't have any of the sort of short-term motivations or issues that you might have with a firm that is running with a 5-year time horizon. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just, different than the way that we've always approached the business. And so the choices that we're able to make, because we're thinking about the next 30 years, not the next 3, are always going to be in the client's favor, because first and foremost, it's the right thing to do. But second, it's also the right thing to do for the business when you have a 30-year time horizon.